We did have a competitive scene called a Terror League, where teams would sign up, and they're all like terror involved teams. Like mine was the Gligo Gang, based on one of the alternates called Gligo, the Gligo Gang, and basically we it was all about like points. It was a point system where you'd have to get up to 60 points, and depending on the round were worth a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
And basically your team would have to just survive.
Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor and got one hell of a guest with us today, and that is...
Hi, I'm Senator Cobra.
Thank you very much for joining us, Senator Cobra. What are you most known for, and how'd you get into the platform?
So I'm mainly mostly known for my work with Metacosm and Project Community. I'm one of the devs. I work on models and mainly artwork for the groups.
Wow. How'd you get into VRChat and into Metacosm and PJKT? What got you? Where are the origins?
So I first got into VRchat like a lot of other people from the Uganda Knuckles videos that popped up into like YouTube. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a throwback, but yeah, that's what made me see. Because I realized VRChat's a world where you can kind of just make anything, and like as long as you like put the work in, like anything is really possible. And it's kind of cool, like you can code worlds to do certain things, and you can just make your own assets and upload them. And I've never seen a game do something like that before that isn't just modding. So I just thought it was great.
Wow. So, from when you joined in during the Uganda Knuckles era, what were some of your first steps like? And from there, what led you to working with Metacosm and PJKT?
So when I first joined, I basically just roamed public worlds, talked to people from different sides of the world. I found it really cool because you could just socialize with people from like Australia, America, and like everywhere, like just all at once. And I found that like really nice. I then joined some of the waifu groups that like they're like military groups, but I kind of got out of that like a while later, and then I ended up seeing like the trailer for the VRChat movie, and I wanted to try and like help. I didn't realize that you could make movies in VRChat, and then like it was just pretty cool thinking that you could.
Oh.
Come on! Hope they're delivering pizza. I'm hungry.
Right, this never-ending bus train, I swear. But yeah, and like the idea of just being able to make a full blockbuster movie using different avatars and effects and like the scenery was just so cool.
Oh, wow. So from this now,
What?
oh shoot,
Since he's close to this, what was the weirdest thing you ever saw in VR that you had to say, nope, I'm out?
I, I guess it's like whenever you like go into like a public box and you just see like 18 plus stuff happening, you just see it and they're just like, all right, different worlds. All right, not the best. A public box, what was I thinking?
I was here to hang out in the organized box, not watch people get into the organized box.
Exactly.
Don't invite me as the organizing box, because I'm not here to sell tickets. Doesn't pay.
So, so once you got into both groups, what was your early days with them like? And also from the previous conversation prior to the recording, we talked about you doing stuff with terrorsofnowhere as well. How'd you get in with that, and what do you do with them?
So I first got into Terrors of Nowhere through a friend. Actually, you interviewed them in Video Waffles.
Ah, yes.
They showed me a test version of the world. This was before you could like save progress and before it was actually live. And I just found this super cool that like the whole like concept, like the being able to like uh what's it like different all the different monsters having up to 99 different monsters having different maps and like how you could like code a full game like that. It's just crazy. Like
Oh, wow.
it's just mad how people can just make like stuff like this in the game, and it just kind of like inspires you to want to like join in, like help or like do anything with the stuff. Like for Metacosm when I first joined, I would basically just I would help Peach out. Basically she would give me an assignment and I would just try and get it done. I would do like logos, different art pieces, and sometimes model work. I would just edit or change models to help with the filming.
Oh, wow.
And then also for like the movie, I would just be like a background character, just pretending to just like go on with my daily life for like some of the shoots.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
So it sounds like
I got a question
it's
for
pretty
him, Lyle.
fun.
Shoot.
What's one of the difficult things of doing what you do? Where's your, you get that attitude going, crap, that type of setup.
A lot of the work, unfortunately, comes with like a bit of an issue where they're like, "All right, so Cobra, I need you to get this done, and this done," and I'm like, "Okay, okay, that's all good," and then they're like, "Yeah, and I need it done in 2 days," and I'm there like, no. I guess a lot of things there's a lot of lack of notice for stuff to get done. The problem is it's a whole community and we're all working together, so it's a lot of people having to talk with each other. I always find communication errors to be the worst. It kind of plagues a lot of groups, communication errors. Um, or even just trying like see, I wouldn't know like an event is coming up until like the week before the event, or that was like with like Metacosm. Project's actually very, very good with it. They do weekly meetings, and they're quite, yeah, they have pretty good scheduling and stuff like that. But yeah, it just workload dropped all of a sudden, and then been told to be finished really quickly. That's probably the hardest part, definitely. Because we all got like jobs outside.
Oh, yes. I very much can understand that. It sounds like with everything you're speaking, you've been doing art for a while, or was Vrchat the first time you've done model work and art in general?
So I mainly started art in college as a way to like de-stress. It would just be like just drawing random stuff and just learning. Basically, it was just to like help. I studied biomedical engineering in college, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
quite a heavy load. I basically make prosthetics in like real life. Uh, so yeah, it was pretty hard and like I would just draw and like do other stuff like that outside to just kind of like cool off. It just helped.
Okay. So what led you into doing work with models and working in Blender and Unity from the sounds if you've helped with model work and stuff like that? How'd you get involved with those?
Oh, so I first learned Blender off of the Blender Guru, if you know who that is. They have this amazing tutorial called How to Make a Donut. And honestly, if you're trying to get into Blender or anything, it is the hands down best tutorial ever. Because I know it sounds simple trying to make a donut, but he like shows you like all the different techniques, all like it's actually incredible how good he is. And I always watch all his videos to just gain like his knowledge because he's really good and it's helped me a lot with all the projects that I've worked on.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Wow. So
No, not to laugh at you, but Super Chicken over here. He's doing the same thing, and he's learned how to make donuts. But I asked him to make donut holes, and he laughed at me.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the best tutorials by far I've seen online on the internet. A lot of them are like when you look up how to like start Blender, a lot of them are quite advanced tutorials, but that one takes you from the start and like brings you in. So it's very helpful.
One of our previous guests also suggested another tutorial he did by him as well, the chair. He said it's pretty good. The chair tutorial.
Yeah, there's a few of them. There's the chair, and then there's also one where it's like how to make a kettle, and that's another one that's like pretty common. But yeah, it's not the one I did, but I also heard a lot of people have some good success with that.
Okay. So after you picked up your skills to learn how to create stuff in a virtual engine, what were some of your first projects you worked on, may I ask, for a group or yourself?
So a couple of the projects I remodeled the last word from Destiny. It was like my favorite hand cannon, and I wanted it on an avatar. The worst part is I finished it, but I never put it on an avatar, which is always like one of my main issues. I always make stuff, but then like I kind of like leave it in the abyss. I like to call it. It's just my folder filled with random stuff that I just kind of like leave behind. And then I would make like Destiny inspired swords. I made a lot of stuff from Destiny that's quite inspired. Like swords and guns, because I really like the design of their like weapons. That was quite cool.
Oh.
Yeah. Right now my current project is the Terrors of Nowhere boot, which I'm currently working away at trying to get it done and approved. But yeah, I can't wait to get the finished product out.
Oh, so you're working on the booth for Terrors of Nowhere, so are you like trying to lead the community with Terrors of Nowhere? Because I remember hearing that Terrors of Nowhere also had a competitive scene at one point, which I thought was dope but also interesting.
We did have a competitive scene called a Terror League, where teams would sign up, and they're all like terror involved teams. Like mine was the Gligo Gang, based on one of the alternates called Gligo, the Gligo Gang, and basically it was all about like points. It was a point system where you'd have to get up to 60 points, and depending on the round were worth a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
And basically your team would have to just survive, and depending on how many survived, you gained a certain amount of points.
Okay. So
it was pretty fun. Well,
sounds fun.
Good.
No, you continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I always just think of something else to say after I like almost finish. I was playing on a team to help out, but I was also one of the refs there. And it was quite interesting, but also quite hard because a lot of people don't like losing, and it ends up getting into a big bickering contest, which unfortunately ended up with the league canceling halfway through its first season.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that it canceled, but I am quite interested in the event in of itself. What started the league to begin with, and what were your thoughts participating in the whole event?
So what started it is there's a user that has made the Terra Wiki, which is full Wikipedia based on terrors of nowhere. It's got information on each terror. There's like over 131 terrors, and it's got all the information, recommendations and stuff, and all the different items and different maps. And basically, she decided she wanted to work on a project, Mara. And I was like, oh, I'd like to help, basically, because she did a post on it, and I was quite interested, and really hoped to like help make it succeed. Probably, fortunately, it didn't, but we tried our best.
Hey, well, sometimes things happen, and who knows, they may come back later. Just because a project is canceled doesn't mean it's gone forever. There's always a revamp of it, or you could always pick it back up at a different day.
I mention it to her sometimes because I still play Terrorsofnowhere with her, and every time I note it, I mention it, she acts like she's having PTSD. Because there's like, you gotta realize, you gotta schedule for, each team is about 5 people, and there's 16 teams, so you gotta schedule for like that many people to go against each other. So it's team versus team. So that's 10 people to be at the exact same place for 3 hours in 1 week. And then you have to kind of make it at like, you can't like extend it too far, and you have to get all the teams against each other. So like the
Ah.
timing is like so hard to schedule because everybody's got their own lives and their own projects and stuff they want to work on. So it was so hard. Yeah, we had like spreadsheets upon spreadsheets and like other like spreadsheets specifically designed to like score and other stuff. Oh, it was hard, but it was great. I tried my best.
Oh. Well, so what are the things that the community is doing now that that's finished? Is it the Terrors of Nowhere community doing anything else in particular, or you just game together?
We just came together. We got a bunch of funny groups that we are a part of. We're currently waiting for Beyond to finish the next update. Of course, if you Beyond is an amazing person. I love the Bean. And a lot of people kind of terrorize him about getting the new update out, which has led to like problems with him in his life, which is such a pain. But a lot of the community is waiting for the new big update, but I hope he takes his time with it because he's under a lot of pressure.
Mm.
And uh, as like an artist and a creator, it's such a pain having people always like ask you, when is it finished? When is it done? Just leave him, let him work, you know?
Hmm. I can understand that, and I do feel bad for him. But also at the same time, there is good news that what he's created has created enough interest for people to want to take note of things like an update to begin with. It's a testament to his work as well. Even though it does suck having a bunch of people tell you when is it done, what is it done, but at least you can now
Yeah.
know, at least he now knows he's made something worth playing.
Yeah, he's getting crushed by his own success, which is unfortunate. Oh, yeah. This model is actually inspired by one of my favorite terrors. That's why I actually decided to bring this one.
Oh,
This is
really?
gonna be one of the models available at the boot. It's one of the terrors is called Pale Associate, and they basically like businessmen that hunt you down. They just shoot you full of holes and then stuff you in the briefcase.
Oh.
It's not the nicest thing,
That would
but
be hard. That wouldn't be hard for me to get stuffed in there. Not
yeah.
at all.
And then at the end it says business is concluded. Yeah. I don't recommend anybody who has Phantom Sense to play the game, to be fair.
I can only imagine.
But yeah, it's a good time.
Sounds like a good time. So you mentioned that, or maybe understand, you made the model you're in now.
Yes.
Wow, it looks very well done.
I-
How,
Keep going. You're
no,
all good.
no, it
Sorry.
looks very well done. I was gonna ask, how long did it take to make this model, and how many have you made across all the groups you're in?
So I made quite a few models. This one is just 1 out of 3. I plan to get 2 more done um for the boot. I had to like learn how to make like guns, and guns are a bit interesting. It's like trying to get it like the fire and shoot particles. Never really done before, but everything's a learning experience. And yeah, I plan to have 2 more done. I want to make a haka of Hackett, like use a hacker model to make Hackett, which is another popular terror. And then there's also quite a lot of fan-made terror avatars already being distributed, so I might ask one of them if they could allow me to put the avatar at the boot. Kind of explain the situation and just tell them just trying to like spread the good name of terror. But yeah, like I've also made like avatars for like the new HorrorCon. The old HorrorCon, we had like a costume contest where I went as like a Dullahan. So I made like an avatar for that. And I just make kind of like a lot of like video game avatars is what I like to make.
Oh, wow. So how many avatars have you made over the course of your creation career, Mask?
So I've made 22 avatars so far. I made a GLaDOS inspired Manuka. I have a Jetstream Sam Haka. I made a Ukon, which is Isaac from Dead Space. So yeah, it's just quite a few.
Oh, wow.
It's good fun.
Oh,
I guess I'll just change into a few to show off.
I would love to see the work you've done.
So this is the GLaDOS model. It's got a cable management. It's got a little turret.
Oh.
It's a good boy. He don't chew anybody. I'm not sure if you've played any of the Portal games.
Oh, I've played the Portal games. I'm a bit of a Valve fan myself.
I also
Same here.
I tried to get the portal gun to work and then like get it to teleport you, which did work at one point, but one of the VRChat updates kind of broke it, and I never got around to fixing it.
Oh.
Though one of my favorite things with this is if people keep bugging me, I can turn on the neurotoxin.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately,
Wow.
the professors don't like it when I flood the facility full of neurotoxin.
I'm sure.
Is that another way of saying fart fan?
Pretty much.
Just thought
I
that.
checked, like, I literally went back to the old game to check, and it is green gas, so. And then. Then. This is probably one of my favorite avatars because I made the plasma cutter from Dead Space.
Wow.
Dead Space
Nice.
is really in like the heart for horror games. Like I feel like Dead Space is like pinnacle, or one of the pinnacles at least, and like a fully interactive shooter that even like counts
sick.
like. Yeah, it counts like even like the bullets I use.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it can run out. So yeah. Let's see. Oh.
No.
But yeah, it's good fun.
With a plasma cutter, did you model that yourself, or did you get it from the game?
I couldn't get the plasma cutter, but I did manage to find there's not many models on the plasma cutter, unfortunately, so I had to model that. But there's models of Isaac, so I did manage to basically like head swap, and then I also adjusted the armor quite a lot. Unfortunately, the length of Isaac's model, he's quite tall, and his like arms are long, his legs are long, so you have to kind of like really like splice it a lot. I think splicing is the best term to say it, where you cut things up and then you kind of like attach them together.
Okay.
Make it shorter, make it fit, but you have to also kind of make it look right, if that makes sense. Because you're putting this like suit on something that really shouldn't fit into it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then this was also another model. Before I did the Isaac Clarke one, this is where I learned basic animations from. So there's this mask. This is basically my first ever like attempt of that. And then I also I was used to head swaps. You can like swap the head off an avatar and it's very easy.
Mhm.
And I thought, all right, if I can swap a head, maybe I can swap an arm, not realizing that it's like 10 times more difficult. So surprisingly, this this is my Jetstream Sam model from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, if you ever had a chance to play that game.
I have not played
Uh,
that game.
It's a bit of a meme game, but it's really good, and I love it.
Oh. So may I ask a question on this model before you switch out of it? What about the arm makes it more difficult than switching ahead?
It just what the problem with this is that it kind of eats into the torso also. So unlike the head, which is just a real clean cut, and then like you can kind of just like place it on, it's just not nearly as the problem. And then like so it's a nice clean cut if you're doing the head, and you can just kind of swap it out. But with this, I had to like dig into the torso, like and do it over the torso, and then I also had to kind of weight paint it properly. And then a lot of the time, the weight paint just didn't work. So the arm would like a lot of the time I use MMD worlds, the dancing worlds, and that can show perfect movement. So you can kind of see if your weight painting is like on point or not. It will show you very quickly. And a lot of the time the arm would contort or go inside, and like you just look at it and you'd be like, ah, that's no good. And so you'd have to like try over and over again, and then hopefully just pray it succeeds. And the amount of like uploads I have where it's like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and it's just like you just feel like you're bashing your head off a wall.
So for something like an arm switch, how many iterations did it take you to like perfect this model mask as an example?
I think it was 9 for this one, because eventually, if you keep hitting your head against the wall will give away.
That
Fair.
you end up with one hell of a fucking migraine you can't get rid of. Another, no aspirin's gonna fix it unless you get your head out of the wall.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
It just, yeah, you just kind of go with like the moments, like, yeah.
okay. So
I got a question for mine. I got a,
Mm-hmm.
out of all the, not your just the avatars that you make, but out of the setups that you say, the events that you do, which, knowing this might be a hard question to ask, which ones is your favorite that you enjoy the most?
Like setups, and what way do you mean? My apologies.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to.
Oh no, I'm probably talking in riddles anyhow. Like when you did the one event and then you did another event and stuff like that. What events out of those ones you've been doing do you like the most? That you
I
get a
really
kick
like
out of?
doing the project community ones are really good to do. I love them because for our last one we had about 40K users visit, and it's always great seeing people coming in. So with project communities like cons, you have a lot of different community booths that are around the map, and they get to like you get to see people come in and talk with different communities and like maybe join them, learn about them, and get to like understand that there's actually like a lot of different groups and different kinds of things in VRChat, which is just kind of, I don't know, it's just really cool for me. It's just get to see that we can kind of like spread and like show like what VRChat has to offer. So it's just, I don't know, it's great.
oh. Now, how did you participate with PJKT this year? Do you help out with the staff or did you have a booth?
So I had a booth at HorrorCon PKG where I showed off a lot of my like semi-realistic art
Mm.
that I do. For this year, I've currently been like drawing the OC for the group, kind of like the mascot,
Okay.
called Revi, which is a purple-haired girl that is like a spray paint artist. And that's mainly been my main contribution right now. I'm currently just working on them. And I'm also working on like the terrorsofnowhere boot. It's gonna be fun also. And I'm also working on some of their emotes for Twitch. So that's pretty good.
Wait. So emotes for PJKT emotes or tears?
Yeah. Oh, for PKG KT, they live stream a lot of their events. And it's good if we can get some emotes of like the OC or of different staff members. A lot of the staff members that are like senior in the group, we've been doing like emotes because they've been around for a while. They've put in a lot of work, and like we just think it's just nice to have like emotes of them. So it's great, and it's nice to see, and they're always so happy to see them. So it's really nice.
Oh. So of the projects you've been working on for all three of the groups, what are some of the things that you're proud of finishing or seeing between like Metacosm, PGKT, and Tears? Hello, we're here to interrupt the most interesting thing being said in our current video to ask you a favor, which is, would you mind joining us on any of the socials we have, such as Discord? We're hanging out all the time playing video games, so you can catch us there very frequently. We have I run Twitter for us, which is LionTurtle21 on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It'll always be Twitter. But either way, there's that. We also have a Patreon, which we actually have a whole other show for our Patreon members, which are Aliquum and the newest addition to the bunch, Future Oracle.
Niche and Forbidden Zero, good friends of ours.
Yeah, thank you very much, you guys, for joining. It means a whole lot that you're there, and hope to see you there as well. We have a whole other show. There are some free ones we have released as well for the audio for you to listen to and to see what it's like. It's like a whole other show as a thank you. With that said, please enjoy the rest of your podcast on YouTube.
Probably my favorite was definitely finishing the OC for PJKT. Basically, the OC has been very like debated over a long time, I've been told. So getting into when I was given the task, I was told by a lot of people that a lot of different people in the group had different ideas for what the mascot should be, which is you can't please everybody. That's one thing I have learned, unfortunately. It's not possible. It's not a perfect world, unfortunately. But you can try your best to. And putting in different like versions of Revi, it was hard, and a lot of people, like some people really didn't like it, while others really did love it. So it was complicated. It was a good bit of work, but I pulled through, and I was really happy with the final design. And I put it into like we have a review and criticism section, and I got pretty much nearly all green flags. So after that, I was pretty happy. Rested my pen, and then I just went to sleep. I was like, blah. I'm done. Cobra shutting down for tonight.
So with Revi, you designed the entire character, if I'm understanding correctly? What were some of the inspirations?
They already had like kind of ideas, so a lot of people were already throwing ideas into the pot, like quite a few different ones. So I kind of like picked up a lot of the pieces and just used the inspiration from previous people. You build yourself on the shoulder of giants, as I can't remember what quote that's from, but but yeah, I kind of used like references and ideas that was previously already put in, and then tried to make it come to life, and I managed to pull through, so I was quite happy with that.
So with Revi, what do you think that she's going to be used for? Like emos? Is she going to be in videos? What are the plans for Evie?
Um, I'm not sure if I can say, but I know there is plans to make like to use her a lot in future events.
Okay.
Basically, she's gonna be like the lead mascot, and then there's also kind of like ideas of having like sub mascots also, but it's like it's really hard with like a group of people like trying to like decide what's exactly gonna happen, and like a lot of stuff just like changes midway, so it really can just like flip on its head in like a moment's notice.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm happy to hear that you were able to help decide on that final product and you're proud of that. What about that project specifically makes you the most proud of it?
I know I just like the design of her, like the colors, I think was one of my favorite parts. The black, the gray, the purple, and then a little bit of yellow. It all like contrasted into like a proper nice working character,
Hmm.
which was like I was really happy to see because like I was like, this is the one I've built and like I actually really like her design. A lot of artists struggle with the idea that they draw something and it's really great, but a lot of artists don't like what they make, which they always see like all the imperfections in their pieces. And to be fair, I have struggled with that in the past. I see like pieces, friends would be like, "That's amazing," and I'd like be like, "No, I gotta fix this and that," and it's just. You end up getting so obsessed with perfection that you just become you get tunnel vision and you just don't realize just how like it just eats in on itself.
Hmm. Yeah, there's an example of that, the artist disliking their own work that I use quite a bit, which is H.P. Lovecraft. One of his most
Mhm.
well-known and works, one of them is The Shadow over Innsmouth, as an example. He hated it. And he ended up sticking it into a desk where it stayed until he died, and one of his family members found it, then published it, and now it's up there with one of the most well-known works to date. People loved it since, so just because it's one of the ones I go to anyway for that whole example of artists disliking their own work.
Mhm. Yeah, it's kind of mad like how you don't even see it like happening. You just kind of like subconsciously think it, and it's just I don't know. You kind of a lot of ways I help fix it is I have like quite a few friends who like draw, and I'll send them like send them the pieces and be like, what do you think? Any problems? Like good, bad, like the ugly, kind of what do you and then get like feedback off that. Getting feedback off of a lot of people kind of helps, like, so you like build the confidence and you see like, all right, so a few people have said that this is like the bad part of it, and a few people said this is the good part of it. So you can kind of like see what's actually like public opinion. Because unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much you like your piece a lot. If not everyone else likes it, then it can be a bit like doesn't really work, especially when you're doing it for like a community and stuff like that.
Hmm. So how do you deal with those moments where, like, for example, people like your work more than you do and you're nitpicking? Is that something you still do to this day, or have you gotten better at that?
I kind of just like say like, "Hey Cobra, it's done. Get over it and move on to the next project." Because like, there's no point in like spending forever trying to fix something when you could get like so much more done in the time. Because
Hmm.
it's like, so if a lot of people would just say like the project's done, it looks perfect and it's all goods, and I kind of just go, all right, it's done, and then just like send it in and just be like, all right, forget about it, and now work on something else, or take a nice break with Ben and Jerry's in the corner.
Fair. So I'm gonna inquire about another group that you mentioned you worked with, Metacosm. What kind of stuff have
hmm
you done with them, may I ask?
So for a couple of the cons that Metacosm was there for I like did like logos. One of them was like kind of had to be medieval theme, so I ended up making like a family like crest, but like I
Oh.
did it instead with I used film equipment to
Hmm.
make the family crest, and that was like one of the things like that you could like show up on like the booth
Oh,
for
wow.
metacosm. Then there is also they have a series called Anime in the Backrooms, I believe. I hope I didn't mess up the name exactly. And I kind of like made and edited the bacteria model, so I changed that up for like part two, to be like featuring these like new goggles and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you know much about the backrooms.
I've explored the back rooms. I've did a little bit of research on the back room specifically, but I'm not a knowledge base of that.
Um, Bacteria is just kind of like it's a weird like monster that like lurks in the back rooms. It's like made out of kind of like the best way to say is like squiggly lines and like a big like clumpy head. So yeah, I mainly like changed up that model for like the um second one that's being done.
Hmm.
But yeah. Uh,
Oh, wow. That seems like you based on everything you've heard, it just sounds like you're up to a lot being in all the groups. How do you manage all your time to take care of all this and work in bioengineering for prosthetics? It sounds quite busy.
um, so I kind of like just like schedule like mainly days. So I work on this day. So I get home, first have food, rest up a little bit, and then I'll just put like 1 or 2 hours into it, and then just get on like and do like normal like gaming or anything like that, or just hang out in VR chat. So it's kind of like just like. See, you don't want to work yourself ragged, or you just end up start dreading the projects, which was another mistake I made. You spend so much time and like start to think of it like, oh, now I have to like work on this. It starts like it puts in like a bad habit of not actually wanting to like start the projects or not wanting to like even work on them. But if you instead just like work on it a little bit and like over time get it finished, of course within like the schedule, then it like becomes a lot nicer and like you actually like look forward to it. So I kind of like look forward to a lot of the projects I work on now
Oh,
and kind of can't wait to do them.
oh, wow. So, wow, that's pretty impressive that you're able to manage your time like that and able to keep excited about your projects. I give you kudos for that. It seems like I've noticed a lot of VR chat groups or people in VR chat tend to work themselves hard till they don't want to do it no more. And that seems, at least for me, seems to be kind of common. So the fact you're still doing it's impressive.
Yeah, a lot of people like to full send it, especially when they catch like lightning in a bottle, I like to
Mm.
say, or like like this the group starts popping off and they want to keep it, which I don't blame them. And I do recommend like going real hard when it like the going is good. But when it's like casual, a lot of people like they put in like so much effort that if it doesn't start paying off like quick, it starts to get them down like a lot.
Hmm.
I've seen, especially talking with a lot of creators. So my best advice is definitely to pace yourself with all this kind of stuff.
Hmm. Okay. Pace yourself. So how long did it take you to learn that lesson yourself, may I ask?
I think about like, oh, to be fair, a lot of people don't really know that it's something you need to kind of learn. After a while, you learn it, but you never knew it was something you really needed in the first place.
Hmm.
So I think it took me like about like 2 years to realize to just kind of like slow down and then just work on it like as a fun thing and like because like a lot of this is it's of course not paid. Like nobody really gets paid, and this is kind of like you do it for the love of the group, and you do it like
Hmm.
because you want to be part of this and you want to make it succeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite good.
Hmm. Wow. I can understand it having to be a lesson you have to learn, and the fact that it took you 2 years is quite awe-inspiring. The fact that you're able to even manage all of this. So thanks for keep on going. I'll be honest, there's a lot of groups out there that would say the same.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's just a lot of other groups still have like different kind of like things. Like a lot of groups do like RP and stuff like that, which I'm not really as familiar, so I can't really like say for like most of the groups. I'm just mainly like talking about like curators and stuff like that. People who like work on making stuff, like projects or like videos and there's stuff like that. It's just yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think a lot of people in VRChat need to learn that. Like, from there, it's very common for a group to pop up, pop off, and then people get tired, and then off it goes. Like, honestly, like the VR, there's been some VR shows and podcasts, for example, that you'll see pop up and disappear, as an example. So.
Yeah, a lot of people think that if they just put in like quick amount of effort, like real quick, they'll pop off and then become kind of like semi like famous and stuff like that, and like it's real easy to do, which unfortunately it's not. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, and there's no real short success in this unless you're like extremely lucky. Unfortunately, a lot of it is quite luck based also, which is unfortunate. A lot of great creators can like make amazing stuff but never really get like the recognition for what they've done, which is always quite a shame, but it's just how the world works, which yeah, still kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, that's something we've heard quite a bit too. Is for a lot of the stuff to getting known is luck. I've always felt like, at least since I started Metaverse Degen, one shouldn't be in the space and want to be famous. You should do what you're doing for the love of the thing, not for the hope of anything at the end of it. Because to be honest, we're all, as I said in a couple of episodes here, we're kind of just pioneers. There's no real big VR chat or metaverse yet, so you're just doing this to like set the groundwork for much later.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, I couldn't have put that much in better words, to be fair. Like you just mainly do it for like the love of doing it. Do it because you enjoy it and then are having fun with it. And if you're not, maybe you just do like a self-evaluation. Do I want to keep going this route? Do I want to try something else? That's yeah.
Okay. So, with that said, what keeps you going so far, so many years after you've come in 2020, been in the various groups and projects? What keeps you working at all?
Just kind of like I don't know. It's like the new adventure, the next big thing. Trying to like we announced like new event and like all this like big stuff, and I try and get it organized. Like always just like looking for like the next big thing while also self-improving yourself. It's just kind of like yeah, that. It's hard to put into words now that I think about it, but it's always just like looking forward to tomorrow, and like yeah.
Wow. So you still have have you the words. I'm good with English, right? I'm glad you still find the
Oh my
love in what you
God.
do this long after, especially since, as I said, it can be quite easy to grow bored with what you do, and the fact that you're not is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it was like hobbies that I liked doing before, and now that I can show it off and like big like in groups like this, it's it's quite nice, and I'm glad that I actually went down like this road. Um yeah, it's good to like work on this stuff and just like have fun, but also like do it while working with others, because there's quite a lot of other amazing talented people like in the groups. And it's always great to like see what it could, because project isn't really like the biggest group, but when all like those amazing talented people come together, they can really like put out a great show for everybody to see. And it's just great to see what a few talented people can do. Well, talented and compassionate, and like just like with some like will and time, can just like pump out such a nice like show and event that everybody can enjoy.
So I'm going to ask you another question as well. What has been some of your favorite memories from the platform or the various groups you've been in? What kinds of things have stuck with you so far?
So for Metacosm, we had a group meetup at Anime Expo.
Oh,
And that was probably definitely one of my favorite moments. Getting to like meet everybody IRL and then like have food and just like go-kart and like playing mini golf and stuff like that. It's just great like getting to see like all the people I've been working with after like a good while. And then we got to like enjoy the con together, looking at each other's cosplays and stuff like that.
oh,
Oh God.
that's pretty awesome that you're able to go meet everyone you've worked with. It's something I've heard from many people that they look forward to doing with the groups they've been with in VRChat. Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. I'm very happy that you're able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, there's something different between actually getting to meet them and like the only problem was journeying over. A lot of the people that I work with are in the States. I guess I say a lot of people in VR chat are actually like American, from what I can tell. I always like tend to come across like 10 Americans compared to like one Canadian or one Australian. So the difference is it's like a 7-hour time zone difference and also like a 16-hour flight to California from Harland. So it can
Oh.
be quite a pain, but in the end it's really nice to be able to see them and then just like chat and like go out and then maybe have some drinks together and stuff like that.
So you don't have to give specifics, but was how you imagined your coworkers, was it the same for when you actually met them, or did you imagine them a little differently?
No, unfortunately, they were the same group balls that I'd known for ages. Yeah, there is unfortunately not much of a difference between actually them IRL and them during like online in VRC, which is really actually amazing to see. It's good to see a lot like none of them were really any like fake or I don't like to really like say like someone being fake, but it does happen where like people pretend to be like what they're not. But it's like it was just great seeing them and they're all exactly how I expected it and it was just nice.
Well, I'm very happy that you're able to meet them. I'll ask you a final couple of questions before we start wrapping things up. One is your name in VRChat. Where did it come from? And why do you still use it?
Uh so Cobra has been a name I've used since like the Xbox like 360. I think when you first made like an Xbox account, it used to give you a random generated gamer tag. What's the one I got was like bloody Cobra, like I think it was like and then it's like a row of random generate numbers. And I kind of like seeing that, and it gives you one like free change your username. And what I did was I was like, oh, Cobra, I kind of like the sound of that, so I just changed it to Cobra.
Oh.
And then I kind of stuck with this. The senator part is a bit different. One of my favorite bosses in all of video games is Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and I kind of just took Senator because I just enjoyed the boss that much, and like all his cutscenes. And so yeah, that's where I got the name Senator Cobra from.
Now, if you have any main avatars you use in VRChat, what makes you use it and why'd you choose it?
So one of my main avatars isn't even one I've uploaded. It's like a public. And it's like one most people have seen me in, and it's the Irish Ukon, which I've been using for like 5 years now. And like it's always just kind of stuck, and I've never really like gotten rid of it.
Oh wow.
You just use it for so long, and you just kind of like it's just a nice cozy avatar. And then a lot of the other avatars came afterwards. But yeah, this is normally the one you would find me in going around as.
Okay.
Even though it's a public one, it's not even mine.
Nothing stops you from wanting to use a public avatar.
Even
As-
mine.
Oh, nothing was. Sorry, I had a bit of a freezing moment. Nothing. I don't see any problem with anyone using a public avatar. I've met a few people who used the default avatars. You know, the VRChat specifics. I've seen publics. I've seen various ones, and it doesn't matter if you're happy in it. What makes you happy in this one specifically?
I don't know. It just always sounded quite cozy. The nice little jumper over everything, the socks. And then like the Irish colors, like I liked it because it was an Irish avatar. And then like I just kind of stuck with it for the next like 5 to 6 years. And never really like got rid of it. It's kind of like an old pajamas that you kind of like they're cozy and you don't want to get rid of them because you just always have them. You've had it. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all that. And one last question. If anyone wishes to do anything close to what you do with art or avatars or even groups or terrors of nowhere, would you suggest they start?
Honestly, just start small, build yourself up, but always try to push yourself. Like if you know you can do something, maybe try something a little bit harder because you always feel like you're like learning something and pushing yourself a little bit further. Because if you can always do something that you know you can easily achieve, you're not really getting anywhere. In my in my opinion, it was just that's pretty much what I would recommend. Just always trying to push the boundaries, get there, but like start from the beginning, push it a little bit, get a bit further, push it a bit, then keep going. And then eventually you get you get somewhere along the road.
Oh, well, Cobra, thank you very much for allowing us to meet you and hear all about your story from where you started, the avatars you've built, and the stories behind them. So thank you. It's been an absolute honor to meet you. Thank you.
Yes, very much so.
It was a pleasure to meet you too.
If the audience wishes to find you, where would you suggest they go to find you?
So just mainly like look me up on VRChat or like Discord. I got the same username over everything, or even just Twitter. I keep it the same on everything to keep it simple.
Okay. Well, it'll be right in the Hoobly What's It right down that way. For everything for you to find, as well as some other fun hoodas and gizmos for you to click and find out if you so choose. But before we hand it off to Robert to close, we'll ask you a question. Most of you, I assume, are in VRChat. What was your first public avatar you used? You know, before you found that one avatar that you called home. What was your first public you wore? Let us know down below. We'd love to hear all about it. And Raptor, you know the thing.
You got it, Line. No matter what you do in here, folks, no matter if it's dancing or whatever it might be, I don't know why I went with dancing, but hey, what the hell? But if you're trying to do things in Blender, take your time and shoot for those goals. Just don't burn yourself out. And do me a favor, bring me a donut. I'd like to have one. Holes, please. You take care. Have a good one. Bye.